I said, I know it's loud.
Hey, everybody, start. What's going on, everybody? This your girl.
Everybody start.
What's going on, everybody? This is girl Shannon,
It's your man, Terrence J.
and this is
The Last Podcast.
And why is this the last podcast, Terrence?
Because depending on what we do or what we say, this could quite possibly be
The Last Podcast.
Yes. Man, we're so glad that you guys are here. We're glad to be here. You know, we could have been anywhere in the world, but we're here with you guys today. Thank God didn't make my bed my cooling bed, as the old folks say. So we are here. Before we get started, I want to give a birthday shout out to my wife, Tamara.
I have that written down right here. Just
got it
in
written
case
down?
You forgot. Happy birthday.
Listen, I won't forget. No, I can't do that. So that's why I got it in early. But we can do it at the end, too.
I had your back, Tamara.
We can do it at the end, too.
Your girl.
So, happy birthday to Tamara. And, you know what? She real proud of her 46-year-old. So I ain't going to even say, I ain't going to say her age, because she'll let you know. So happy 46th birthday, baby. Love you. Hope you tune in to the show. But the last podcast, you know, we always had to get our pleasantries out the way, because there's a whole bunch of ignorance that come on after this. But today we're going to try to give you something that's just something that's been on my mind. And Shannon is going to oblige me in talking about our topic later on, as you can see, raising daughters and husbands. And we'll tell you which twist we're going to put on that, because, you know, last podcast always got their own twist.
True.
Yeah. So, also, shout out to D. Bellum Distillery. You see the bottles here on the table. Shout out to our winners. We are in the process of getting y'all these bottles, but y'all won, so they still y'all's. We ain't gave them to nobody else. You can still see them, okay? They are y'all's. Yeah.
I still owe my people some shirts.
You still owe your people some shirts.
I think it's one of the winners. Oh, shirts. What?
I think both of the winners we owe a shirt to. They coming. Listen, as long as we owe you,
you'll never be without.
Perfectly said. So shout out to D. Bellum Distillery. Also, to make sure you follow us on Facebook, that is The Last Podcast 1. And on Instagram, it is _ The Last Podcast.
Yes.
Again, tried to go live on Instagram today, and the Instagram camera is not working right, so we got to go to a new one. I think Shannon might have kicked that camera over, too. So if y'all know anything about the studio, she has a history of kicking over cameras.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just blame it on her.
tracks.
Yeah, I'm going to blame it on her. But make sure you guys follow us, and we will be back up on Instagram here pretty soon. All right, to our disclaimer.
Our disclaimer: we will still be friends after this show, no matter what is said, no matter what he looks like, week in and week out.
Very handsome. So I got that dimple too.
Where's the dimple?
It's over there.
Oh, I thought you saw the one. Yeah. Now, our unofficial disclaimer is: if you are offended by fat shaming or fat people dressed in blue, he looked like the blueberry from the big blueberry dude from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Really?
If you are offended by what I just said to Big Blueberry here, or if you are easily offended by anything, this is probably not the show for you.
Probably not.
But
No.
we do not want you to log out.
Nope.
We want you to walk away.
Yeah.
Let it play. But before you do all that, share.
Make sure you do that. You got to share this, okay?
Yes.
And put in the comments that you did share. We do appreciate when you guys put in the comment section that you shared that. That let us know if you're rocking with us. So we want to be here for you guys, and we're so appreciative of you guys each and every week being here with us right here on Wednesdays, 8-ish. But you guys are used to that right now, all right?
Yeah.
So we don't even talk about that no more.
That's not even-
What is understood don't need to be said.
Listen, I was about to say that.
So the last podcast, man. You know, before we get into the show, we are coming up close to a year
Yeah.
of doing this. Can you that time is went by fast?
It's flown by, actually. And we did take off for a month or two because he gave me COVID. For those of you who are just tuning in and have never seen the show before, yes, that is right. He gave me
we have
COVID.
to talk
He
about
almost
that
killed
every
me.
show?
And he was supposed to buy me I'm sorry, I almost killed you gift, but I have not received it yet. All I asked for was like a bundt cake or something.
I bet you did ask for a bun cake. Okay. So, you know, here's the thing about that. She didn't die. All right. So she's here. So we don't need to talk about that no more. All right. You made it.
But did you die?
But did you die? It's the only question we need to know.
Almost.
Listen, and that's the question you ask everybody who rides with you. You damn near kill everybody on the road.
Well, I've already killed my car, so.
So there's that. So the last podcast, man, we're about to get into the weekly rundown. The weekly rundown is some things that have happened from the last time we had a chance to see you until now.
Right.
That we're gonna, put our opinion on, our twist on, and talk about it.
This weekly rundown is a very ignorant weekly rundown. You're not gonna learn anything educational from this weekly rundown.
Nah.
But we have to do it for the culture.
Got to. It is what it is. So
we're gonna start with the special needs rapper Kodak Black with his real ignorant ass. You go ahead and take this if you want.
All right. So my man Mushmouth Kodak Black, right? Said that he was gonna be out here 24/7 in the streets like Kobe, standing in front of a purple and gold helicopter. Now, for those of you who know that I'm a huge Kobe fan.
Yeah. And,
listen, I'm a person who can find a joke in damn near anything. And that's one of the reasons that makes this show, what it is, because we got that same humor. Crazy humor.
Right.
But some stuff you're like, okay, that wasn't funny. Some stuff there's no humor in it, and there's no humor to even be, you can't squeeze out any humor. So the thing is, hey, listen,
Jared, I believe he was in Miss Stansberry.
Listen, first of all, I wasn't. And for those of you who don't know who Miss Stansberry is, she taught the kids who rode the short bus. First of all, I wasn't in her class. Second of all, y'all ain't gonna do the people in Miss Stansberry class like that. They got a whole organization that would come and shut down the last podcast and the Sunday Takeout. So
I think he was talking about Mr. Kodak Black.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
I mean, if the shoe fit or the helmet.
Well, listen, he started last weekend on me, so.
But he did say, I bet you hiding his little. We gotta have him on the show.
Did he say that for real? He didn't say that for real. You putting words in that man's mouth.
No, I'm not. He said it. He said,
You said, I bet.
But he's hiding that long sleeve shirt. I just saw it.
No,
I can't.
I'm hot because Shannon's body temperature is running over. But with that being said.
Much like your waist in that belt.
With that being said, listen. Some stuff, there is no humor to pull out of it. Okay? Yeah. As y'all watch, we joke about everything on this show, but you're looking like, okay, so for all the people who were fans of Kobe, family of Kobe, that were touched by him losing his daughter in the process, Vanessa having to be here, and then she lost a husband and a son, and the sisters lost their sister. You look at it as like, really, man, out of all the stuff you could possibly say, that's what you had to say, which kind of let us know that this is the reason why your bars suck, because you can't come up with creative stuff to say. All right? So.
And I just thought that the reason why they allowed him to be a rapper because they had to meet that quota for special needs.
You had to let certain people in and be like, so that he got in on the affirmative action.
Yes, he did.
All right.
Jesse Jackson is working.
Kodak, you are not somebody. Okay? Let that be said.
All right. Next, our ignorant ass. So, the IKEA in Atlanta decided they were...
In Atlanta? This wasn't even Utah.
No, this was in Atlanta.
This was in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Wow.
They decided that they were going to do a special Juneteenth menu with fried chicken, watermelon, mac and cheese, potato salad, collard greens, and candy yams. The only thing I see wrong about this is the collard greens. Take that off and give me that whole menu. I personally don't see nothing wrong. Do you see anything wrong with this?
Do they serve this on a consistent basis?
I'd rather have this than them nasty-ass Swedish meatballs.
But if you're going to change it, you have to read the room and say you can't do this on Juneteenth.
They did. It's Atlanta.
It is Atlanta, but y'all ain't never had that shit before. They
did a little thing that say, in honor of Juneteenth, and in
honor of Juneteenth.
Here's my question: are we really mad at this?
Are we mad?
The only way I would be mad at it is if all this food is nasty. Okay,
it's gonna be nasty.
Okay, let me tell you this: had they done fried chicken? Okay, had they taken away the watermelon and the collard greens? Nobody would have even batted an eyelash.
But the watermelon and collard greens along with the fried chicken.
Well, had they just done the fried chicken, mac and cheese, potato salad, and candy yams, they can be like, they can do a special Southern menu. but they threw in the watermelon and the collard greens.
And that's what I say. This ain't even Utah. This is somewhere that somebody's going to catch it. Somebody was going to look at that and say, have a problem with it.
I mean, but they in there feeding Swedish meatballs. They probably said, you know what, we going to help y'all out.
Nah, listen. Am I mad? No, I'm not mad like, I'm never shopping at IKEA again.
So the employees, some of the employees are speaking out in protest because of this.
Yeah, I mean,
Am I going to protest this?
The underlying...
I'm going to get a plate first.
We know you're going to get a plate first.
And I'm going to get one for you.
Thank you. But we know the racial undertones that watermelon fried chicken and collard greens come with, right? So for you to do this on Juneteenth, it's almost like you are trying to do your best at throwing shade of kind of, undercurrent of racism for Juneteenth.
Okay, Shan Harris, shout out to Boss Lady, who made this shirt. She didn't make that.
She had no more material to make my shirt after she made yours.
She had no more material to make that shirt, period. She said, we eat tacos on Cinco de Mayo. It's the same thing.
Okay, so we eat tacos on Cinco de Mayo.
Yes, we do.
Okay, but the thing is that those places that serve tacos all the time.
You can have a special. So if IKEA changed and did a special menu for Cinco de Mayo and did like a taco bar, do you think Hispanics or Mexicans would be upset about that? Hell no. And I personally would be the first one at IKEA because I love me some tacos. I eat tacos before I eat anything on this list.
The difference is that has never been a disparaging thing against them.
Okay, say that then.
That's the problem, is that it has always had a racial undertone to it. So tacos hadn't had a racial undertone.
But let me ask you a question.
To the Hispanic.
Do we eat fried chicken?
Yes, we do.
Do we eat watermelon?
Yes, we do.
Do we eat mac and cheese?
Yes, we do.
Do we eat potato salad?
Yep.
Do we eat collard greens?
Yep.
Do we eat candy yams?
Yep.
Then go get your ass a plate and stop complaining.
Hey, you got me on that one. So, hey, listen, go get a plate. Listen, here's the thing about it.
Was it good?
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to critique them changing the menu. We're going to critique what it tastes like. So if we want to ride them on what it tastes like, then we can do that. But if you're going to eat it anyway...
Make sure.
Half y'all ain't never been to Sweden and you're going to eat the Swedish meatballs, okay? So with that being said...
And see, the Swedish meatballs are horrible, but the hot dogs are good and the Seeds candy, which is very expensive, that Seeds candy is good. I go to IKEA a lot, as you can see.
We can see.
You look like the IKEA building with all that blue. All you need is some yellow.
We can tell you ain't walked around IKEA. You walked straight into the food court. So, what the hot dogs at? I heard y'all got a cupcake. It's a cold motherfucker. When you bite into it, cream, glitter, shoot it.
That's how he sound when he sleep, y'all. He talking to sleep about food.
Anyway.
Come on, sleep apnea.
All right, this is your boy. Trick love the kids.
Let me tell you something.
Before you say anything, Trick love the kids, okay?
Swamp Thing Florida Evans, a.k.a. Trick Daddy, had the black audacity to get on Beyonce's internet and say that she could not sing. Then he backed it up and said she doesn't make... The reason why she's scared to make any more music is because she can't sing. She ain't a Patti LaBelle. She's not an Adele. She's not whoever. And everybody on God's green earth knows that anytime you say anything about Queen Bee, the Beehive is coming for your ass. And what did they do?
Come for that ass. You know what they said? Bring that ass here.
Bring me that ass. So the Beehive, Florida Evans has a restaurant in
I keep thinking about Florida Evans, don't you?
Ain't that Florida? Oh, Trick Daddy, same thing.
Don't do Florida like that.
Well, Swamp Thing has a restaurant is it Miami?
It's Miami, yes.
And so the Beehive went on and dropped. They left so many bad reviews that they dropped his rating down to like a 2.6. And I thought I sent you a picture. I thought maybe of some. Oh no, I didn't send it to you. But some of the comments that were made on his website in the reviews. And So here's my question. Because I feel like Beyonce woke up out of a nap and saw what he said and then went right back to sleep. Like who are you? I feel like he's using Beyonce's name to trend because I mean, really, what you coming for Beyonce because
what was the premise of the conversation is what I wanted to know.
Who knows?
How did Beyonce even come up?
Who knows what Florida Evans had going on that day? I don't know. I'm not really sure. But my question is, I mean, we've heard Beyonce sing. Beyonce can sing.
Yes, Beyonce can sing.
You know, can she sing like
Listen,
Kiki Wyatt? But who can?
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing:
she's Beyonce.
When you start saying Aretha Franklin and stuff like that, we understand that you have great, like excellent Whitney Houston type singers. You got performers. You got people who can do both. You got people who. But one thing you can't do is look Beyonce in the face and say, You can't sing.
And then on top of that, I feel like Beyonce's song when she was 7 years old, like, tops anything that Florida has ever put out. Flow. Damn.
You keep calling this man Florida Evans. Yeah, listen, I have no idea. But what did they do to his restaurant, though? His ratings on his restaurant.
I mean, they went in and said that the roaches were tap dancing. Somebody said it smelled like COVID in there. I mean, it was. I thought I had a screenshot.
So I looked at it, and everybody kept going on putting 1 stars, which took his ratings all the way down.
Like, yeah, they were doing 1 stars, but
wait. In the comments, I saw a lot of people commenting like, the food was nasty, it took a long time, and he can't sing. It was like the comments consistently.
Yeah. So here's a screenshot of something that I did from Baller Alert with a 1 star. It was very trashy and ghetto. 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend you come here, and this place isn't up to par. Bro, it sucks. It was horrible. Food tastes as bad as the owner looks. Horrible. The food was absolutely disgusting and will never return back. Don't come here at all. And I love how some of them just put 1, and they're all 1 star. Some of them just put all like 1 star and like a million like bees.
Listen, let me tell you something. The Beehive is not what you want to come for. I mean, if Beyonce do anything short of walking in your house and slapping your mama, you better not get on and say nothing unless you're ready for that consequence.
Because the Beehive has no chill at all, and they will come for your ass, and they will put you in your place. And I'm not really sure why Florida Evans felt the need to. And then he doubled down on it, and he was like, "Why am I getting penalized for my opinion?" Florida, keep your opinion to yourself, okay?
Shan said the Beehive is 70% male. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it's Beyonce. Listen, I wouldn't say this out loud, and I would never say it, in public, like on a podcast or like that.
But you're part of the Beehive, aren't you?
Well, I'm not a part of Beehive, but I'm saying, like, if Beyonce came to me and propositioned me
to do what,
I would have to have a conversation with my wife. Like, you sure
do
I can't
some cardio?
Go? Shut.
Jump a rope.
All things you cannot do.
All things you will not do.
All things you have not done.
Actually, I have.
That's why you walk with a limp. You jam that knee so far up your femur, you can't walk straight no more. But with that being said, listen, I'm going to just say this. If you ain't got nothing good to say about Beyonce and it's not going to benefit you anyway, please do yourself a favor and don't do it. All right? So that was my closing remarks on that because I have no idea why he decided to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why Florida Evans did either, but here's what you need to do. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth off of B. And, I mean, go do something with your life. Go do something with that lupus skin. This is why this is the last podcast.
That's probably why it's going to be the last podcast, because you probably just offended somebody with lupus.
Well, they don't have skin like him.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
And if they do, don't talk about Beyonce, and you won't get talked about.
I don't know. But I'm going to say this. I'll put my money on a sing-off versus a rap-off.
And I'll put my money on a rap-off versus a rap-off, and he gonna lose all the time with any rapper. We can get a little that's Kodak Black. Come on, and that's his boy.
But Trick love the kid, so Shout out to Trick Daddy, man.
What kids?
I don't know. He made a song saying he loved the kids.
All right, Florida Evans.
Slip and Slide gonna be all up on you. I ain't trying to catch that smoke.
Who was Slip and Slide?
That's his name of his record label. So,
okay.
Anyway, last podcast, man. Hey, listen, we got a great topic for you guys today, and came out of a conversation we were having, and if you watched the show last couple episodes, one was the Black Boys Burden, and the other was the Black Girls Burden. And so these are just things that, little boys and little girls kind of have a burden put on them that they're not even ready for and hadn't asked for, right? So one of the things we were talking about was the independent push for the black girls that the parents push, and a lot of times the mothers push on the girls to be independent so fast, right? And what I've seen is a lot of times that a lot of the women are pushing the young boys to be the best version for a woman, teaching them all the chivalrous stuff, pulling out chairs, holding doors, paying on dates and stuff like that. So we wanted to know, are mothers grooming their daughters to be wives as much as they are grooming their sons to be husbands?
That's interesting because I think when you take a single mother who knows how she wants to be treated by a man, and she has a son, she teaches her son how she wants to be treated so that he can grow up and treat women with respect, with dignity, with chivalry, and not, like women are just objects or whatever. I think in that same token, single mothers teach their daughters how to survive. I think we touched on this, a little bit. They teach them how to survive. They kind of teach them how to. They kind of groom them how to be single mothers.
So
the best single mother you can be. They teach them how to survive on their own instead of grooming them to be more domesticated, more submissive, for grooming them for the role of a wife, a traditional role of a wife. I don't know if that's really happening in single mother households. I came from a single mother, and I don't think my mother groomed me to be a wife, but she groomed me to be educated, to make my own money, to get So, because can you really groom your child to be something that you kind of don't have a...
Good point. Can you teach them to be what you yourself have never even experienced? Is what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Or your experience with it has been so bad that now it's almost like you are doing your best at protecting your daughter by saying you would never be what I was. Now here's the thing: a lot of times I believe that what a lot of people were was a lot of times due to possibly mistakes that they made. Not all the time. It's not always everybody's fault. What I'm saying is, I had a chance to speak to a couple women on this situation who had been married and then divorced, and I asked them, what did their family say? What did their mother, what did their father say? And I got a lot of, they told me to leave him alone. Don't marry him. Don't be with him. This is not the one you want. He's not going to be right for you. And they went on themselves, right? And so I say that to say, not all the time of the stuff that you went through is that other person's fault. Sometimes you had warning before you went in and you said, I'm going to throw all, we didn't listen to wise counsel. The Bible teaches us to listen to wise counsel. But a lot of times we also say, I know more than them. And I don't think it would have been written in the Bible if it wasn't important for us to be able to take some wisdom from other people who can see some stuff that's not in the center of this. So when it comes to a mother raising, this is what I really believe. And because most of our households are led by women, right? Single women. And we just by the statistics, I really think that the black women that are raising sons they're doing their damnedest to make him the best man that they can possibly make for a woman.
A woman.
We talked about it last week where
Or they try to make him the best man that he could possibly be for them.
another issue. True.
But we're gonna stay on trend.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so but you know what? But that teaching ends up kind of been the same lessons they're giving. So what happens is, what I see is, okay, the chivalry. You should put out a chair for a girl. You should open the car door for a girl. You should hold
wait a
the
minute.
door.
I know somebody who said that she don't touch doors. Ain't gonna call her name. This is how she said. She said, "I don't touch doors."
I know somebody like that. But
It's the same person, probably.
probably so. But the thing is that pay when you go out on a date.
It's me.
Don't
I'm somebody.
don't do this. Don't put your hands on a woman. All these things are taught to the young boys that are directly affiliated with his dealings with a woman.
Right.
So if all those lessons are taught to young boys for them to grow into be young men, my question is, what has been taught to young girls in their dealings with young men?
Well, but I will say this. Here's also a caveat of that. When you do find a young man or a man who has been reared and raised by a mother who says, this is how you should treat a woman. And usually that type of mother is not even just telling you how to treat a woman, just how to treat people in general. Mm-hmm. Those are the men that I feel like make awesome husbands, because they have a quality about them, and a nurturing quality about them that the mothers have instilled. And they can see that they can reason with women in a way that a man who really hasn't been nurtured that way cannot. I've seen this with my own eyes, and they have a different understanding and a different level of patience. So I appreciate those mothers and I appreciate those men. To answer your question, what is being taught to the girls? I think that naturally, most women are naturally submissive, and not I'm a slave and you're a slave owner, but I feel like naturally, because of how we were created by God, we are naturally submissive in our roles as women to our husbands. So even if there is a level of independency that was taught, a level of survival that was taught, if you are able to connect with a man who, whether he was taught by his mother or his father, who knows how to lead his house, who knows how to lead in love and in patience and in humility, then submission from the girl, no matter how independent she is, but submission from the female becomes more natural, because that's a natural song and dance. That's how God created us. Now, I know society likes to say, well, we supposed to be this, and nobody, that's old school thinking, but when you get down to the very nature of how we were created in our roles, that's the beautiful, unique give and take. So even if you were raised to be this independent whatever from from your mother, I feel like if you're blessed to connect with a man on a level that he allows you to grow in your role and you allow him to grow in his role, no matter who's been groomed or how they were groomed, it kind of all falls into place naturally. Now sometimes you get somebody who doesn't understand the roles because of how they were raised. Like you may get a male who the mother coddled him more than she groomed him for a husband. Mm-hmm. So now and you have this over independent girl, and now she's taking care of her husband and coddling him because that's how he was raised and that's how she was raised.
I I I tend not to lean to the belief that this thing happens naturally. I don't think that I know a lot of people.
What doesn't happen naturally?
Oh, the woman naturally submits to the guy who leads correctly or lead. I hear this all the time. Like if you lead correctly, the woman would naturally follow you.
What is your definition of submission?
My definition of submission is pretty much, to keep it basic, the biblical principle of, listen, if I'm the head of this household and I cover this household and you I love you as Christ loved the church, you are under my leadership as a husband covering. I'm the head of this house. It's real basic. Not
so you don't believe in that very basic, because you really didn't say nothing. You just put a lot of words together, but you believe in that very basic. What you just said, that doesn't happen naturally.
No, because the thing is that I believe when we talk about the things that are happening naturally versus what's been instilled in you for 18, 21, 25, sometimes 30 years, you can't just go and say, oh, I'm going to fall back into the natural state that I was created to be, because the programming has changed. So watch this. So now,
I don't know if I agree with that.
So you think that, because matter of fact, I have had conversations where people say, you know what? I can't do that because I've been taking care of myself so long. I can't allow him to do such and such and such. I can't do this because I've been having to do this for myself so long. Well, wait a minute. What happened to that natural fall? If you say this is the guy that you're going to give that opportunity to lead, and you can't tell me what he's doing wrong other than I've been doing this so long that I can't relinquish that, then you're not naturally falling into that position. So the thing is that you got to understand there are some people who are deeply rooted into, can't nobody tell me nothing.
Now I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is in general, because everybody, we always talk about how the single, and I was raised by a single mother. I was raised by a single mother. Her thing was be able to take care of yourself. And it wasn't be able to take care of yourself and don't worry about what another man says or what, a man can't tell you this, a man can't tell you that. It was just be able to take care of yourself. And there are a lot of single mothers teaching their daughters to be able to stand on your own. And my mom would say, write your own ticket, be able to do that. But not once was it instilled in me, you are so independent that you won't be able to listen to your husband because, like I said,
But again, if I get to a point to where I put in throughout the course, let's see, 18 years. If for 18 years, if we take everything and put it on a total pie of 100%, how much did I tell you to be able to write your own ticket and do your own thing? And how much did I teach you or tell you about how to interact when you are a wife, if you become a wife, to become a wife? But
that's the thing. Even though that wasn't always spoken on, when the female comes under the male's tutelage, under his leadership, under his covering, then if it is done right, if she trusts him enough based on how he treats her, it is a natural thing.
So once he comes under his tutelage, and then
under his covering,
under his tutelage covering, we're not gonna.
Okay.
But here's the thing. So you're saying that, and the crazy thing about you using the word tutelage means that, okay, now I'm going to help, mold her to, this wife of mine, right? Yeah. Wrong. The Bible said who finds a wife find a good thing, which means you got to be a wife before I find you. So I got to go through and make you what your mama should have made you.
You are being extremely literal with it because no. Let me tell you this. Because when you met your wife, because your wife had to mold you into the husband that she needed you to be too. You didn't come in just straight. I'm Tamara's husband, and I have this and this and that. That's not how that works. Because that's not life.
No, when you say perfect,
it's not. No. I'm not even talking about perfect. And what I'm saying is, you are two people who come together, and you have to know who you are as individuals. You're very different. So when you come together, like you didn't come in just being this straight lacy. You're not even that person now. Nobody is. But what happens is that when a woman comes into the man's life and he marries her, he takes her into his home and he makes her his wife. And I'm not saying this happens for everybody, but generally when she is of the mindset that it doesn't matter if she was raised by a single mother, if she was grown by a single mother to make sure that she can take care of her own self, that does not mean that the single mother was saying, you're so independent and you don't need to listen to a man. That's not how that goes.
But she didn't say the opposite though.
But she didn't say that.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
no. See, we can't leave that up to chance.
I know, but just because she didn't say the opposite does not mean that the woman will get there and not know exactly what to do or how to do it. Because, like I said, it is a natural ebb and flow for the husband and the wife. It's a song and dance that happens.
Okay, so how about this? Let's flip that around. So don't teach your sons any chivalrous activity. Don't teach him anything. Allow him to get that natural ebb and flow once he get a woman, and let's see what happens. No. You know why you speak that into the sons? Because it's important, because on the flip side what he's going to need.
Are you saying that the single mothers are not grooming their daughters to be wives when they're grooming them to be, I guess, independent, to go out and be educated, to go out and to be able to write your own ticket? Are you saying that since single mothers are doing that they aren't giving? Because here's the thing: a single mother will teach their daughter, to go out and do all these things, but she's also teaching her this is how you run your house. This is how you wash your clothes and fold your clothes. This is how because all that still goes into domesticated roles. All that still goes into, all that still goes into being a wife. This is how you balance your checkbook, because all that still goes into, because there's some stuff you're not going to know. And so when, and you're trying to make this blanket analysis and like it's black and white, and that's just not reality.
Okay. So you're saying,
and my other question is, where the daddies at? Why are we always talking about what the single mothers are doing?
No. Because guess what? We're talking what is. We're talking about what is. We know that most of the households are ran by women, right?
Is your household ran by women? By a woman?
No, but I don't fit into the majority on that.
So most of the households in Black America is ran by women.
Yes. We have the highest percentage of children born out of wedlock, ran by single mothers. That's a stat. The thing is, what I'm saying is, no, mine is not, but I'm in the minority on that. When you talk about the majority of the kids growing up in our community, in our culture, this is what it is. So what I'm talking about is, let's address the problem, what it is, because we can get to getting, the dads being there. We can get to that. But mothers and fathers, guess what? A lot of times, the mother and father that, go in together and then end up splitting, there are, depending on what their relationship like, they come out of a marriage. A lot of times, if you're not just crazy bitter, you still are able to co-parent and have that dad there. We're just talking about what's the role that the mother is teaching the sons and the daughter, because I know they are teaching these boys this, but you're just telling me that they're teaching the women,
and not all of them are teaching these boys this. And also,
I'm not saying all of them follow it, but I'm saying a lot of them are.
Also, single mothers who are saying, when you become a wife, and I say my mama did. She pushed education, but she also pushed how to maintain my household, how to maintain myself as a lady, how to maintain. all that still goes into being
What's
a good wife.
what's maintaining the household?
You know, cook, you clean, you make sure.
In 2021, that's becoming
So
less
what?
of a.
So what do you want?
What? No,
my,
I'm saying.
my,
What
my
I'm saying.
question is, what do you want?
In
Do you
2021,
want her? Do you want the mothers to teach their daughters how to maintain a household and be a wife? Or because it sounds like you don't know what you want.
No, wait a minute. Being a wife is more than cooking and cleaning.
That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
But I'm not saying that. But you're saying teach them how to run their household, how to do the cooking and cleaning. What I'm saying is you might have a maid.
What do you
and
want?
You might have a chef.
What do you want? What do you want from your perspective? What do you want the mothers to be grooming their daughters to be doing as far as to be grooming their daughters as far as of being a wife? What is it that you want?
Okay, so for women that are talking with the daughters, because I'm in the process of having this conversation even with my daughter, because I'm in the house and I'm able to show her situations. One, biblically, when you get married, understand that your husband is the head of your household. And I'm a God, Jesus believer, so if you don't believe in the Bible, conversation won't matter to you. But I'm teaching her that the man is the head of your household. You are submissive to him as he submits to God. Your covering is his submission to God. If he gets out of line, then he's taking away the covering, which means that now you're exposed, and we'll go from there once we get there. But don't disrespect the man, especially in public. Also, what you got to understand is, for her, the role of a wife and a woman, she multiplies things. You get a house, she makes it a home. Mm-hmm. I go home, my house is a home. It's somewhere that I actually run to instead of trying to run away from. Her feminine. Don't buck up to your man. Respect him as a man for no other reason that if he decided to, he can pick you up and throw you through a wall.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Because all the things that you have said, I guarantee you, single mothers and women who were raised by single mothers have had this conversation. This is, and you may not think that it's. I guess that's your stance on, or your belief on that's how what's been said, being groomed for a wife. But these are conversations that are being had all the time, because that's like the number one thing. You always, your man is your covering, your husband is your covering, he's the head of the household. That's like a, to me, that's a normal thing. That's not something that's
not a normal thing.
Well,
that's not a normal thing.
How I was raised, and I bet you, if you speak to a lot of women my age who were raised by single mothers, they can tell you the same thing. If y'all are out here in these Facebook streets, in these podcast streets, the women, drop in the comments and let us know if this was told, because everything you said is not shocking. It's not like, oh, I wasn't told that. It's almost like, well, yeah, like it's almost like that's a given. Like we know that.
So watch this. I believe what you feed, what grows, right? Mm-hmm. If I feed you 99% of the independence and go out and make your own way and do all this other stuff, and the quote unquote 1% of this is how you are shaped and formed when you become somebody's wife, I just fed you not to be a wife. I just fed that to you. That's you will take on more of what I told you.
You are making it so black and white,
and
I feel like you don't. I feel like you don't even understand the dynamics of it, because you were not raised by a single mother, so it's very easy for you to sit back and say, well, if you're doing this, because that's not how it goes. And I'm being honest with you, it's not okay. You go out and and then on the flip side, do this, but make sure you do this. That's not really how it is. Because when mothers are having these conversations with their daughters, hey, come in the kitchen and you're cooking and whatever, and you having these conversations, it's not you need to make sure you go out and you can do this for yourself, blah blah blah. It's a conversation that is like fluid, and you go from you speak on things and you ask questions on things, and the mother gives you what she can give you, whether it's about, if it is about education, if it is about how to treat a man, and how, it's not okay, I'm going to teach you how to do this, and don't worry about this, don't worry about having a man, or if you get a man, just make sure you can do this. That's not how these conversations are going. And it's not so black and white to where I'm telling you this 90% and only 1% is that. That's not reality.
But your opening statement was they're teaching them to be single mothers.
Well, yeah, they're teaching them to be single. They're teaching them how to survive if they were single mothers. You get what I'm saying? Because I can only teach you what I know. So if I'm teaching you, if I'm a single mother and I know how hard it is because I didn't get the best education, or if I didn't go as far as I need to for an education, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is, look, if this ever happens, if you ever find yourself in this situation, here's what is the best thing I think for you to do. Please make sure that you get an education. Please make sure that you can take care of yourself. You never know what's going to happen. You may have a husband who may die. You may have a husband who may leave you. You may not. Those are the conversations that normally are being had. You just make sure that you don't have to beg anybody for anything. Just make sure that you don't have to, you're not out in the street and you have to live your life in a way that is dangerous. In the event that you can't find a husband, and when you do find a husband, my prayer is that you find a man who's going to love you, who's going to respect you, and who's not going to beat on you. So then you start having a conversation about men, about husbands. Well, when you get your husband, you make sure that you do this, and you make sure that you do this, and always, you're a woman, always make sure that that your husband understands that you're feminine. These are conversations that like I said, they're not black and white, and you don't sit down on a Tuesday and have a conversation about, we're going to talk about independence today, and then the first Saturday of every month we talk about.
We know most forms of communication are really nonverbal, right? So it don't have to sit down and do this on the first Tuesday every month. But the video I played for you last week, when the young lady said, one thing I wish somebody had told me was what to fight for. I was always told, if a man does this, leave. If he does this, leave. He puts your hands on you, leave. But I was never told what to fight for. And your comment was, man, that's a real statement.
But I feel like that's just not for women. That's across the board. No, are men taught to fight for something? Men are taught, man, if she for the streets, leave. If she this, leave. Men are not taught the stay no matter what, work it out. Men are not taught to be Gomar's husband. If you know the Bible like you act like you do.
I don't.
You know who
Don't act that way.
I think her name was Gomar. Maybe it was Tamar. No, it was Gomar.
It definitely was Tamar.
she was out in the streets, and she wanted to go live her life, honey, and she was reckless. And God told her husband, stay there. Make sure you're there when she comes. His friends called him a fool, whatever. But men are not groomed to do that either. So don't sit up here and act like men are just these boys are being groomed to open up doors or whatever. But the mothers are teaching the sons the chivalry of the things. Open up doors and say yes, blah blah blah. But it still takes that man to say, I am going to lead. And it still takes that woman to say, I'm going to be submissive to my husband, no matter what is being taught. Because you have some people who act like fools out here in these streets, and you look at their parents, you're like, who the hell raised you? Because your parents are these God-fearing, loving people who look like they got some sense, and they're out there just wilding out. And to the same token, you got some people who parents just wasn't shit, and they didn't see anything positive growing up as far as relationship wise, and they out here killing it in the relationships in a good way, not killing it like Jeffrey Dahmer.
A lot of time you learn how to see what you don't want and then do, so you do get that a lot of times. And then a lot of times for the parents who look like this model role of what you should be, a lot of times they're not really imparting that information on a sit down. Hey, let me teach you. A lot of times we just assume they are because they look this way. But one of the things is, so back to the question: do you believe in your heart of hearts that mothers are grooming their daughters to be wives as much as they're grooming their sons to be husbands?
See, I really don't know if mothers are grooming their sons to be husbands. I think women are grooming their sons to be respectable men, because opening up a door and bringing flowers and saying, yes ma'am, that's not being a husband. That's being a respectable man. So no, because I think women are grooming their sons to be respectable, to respect women, to be respectable men to women, and respectable men to other people. I feel like it goes so much deeper when you because you really can't raise anybody to be a husband. You can show them the qualities. You can talk to them about what it takes to be a husband. Because what I think would be a good husband, you may not think would be a good husband. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So
I don't.
Well, I mean, you're a good blueberry right now, but
I'm a good husband.
Well, Tamara's on the payroll, so we'll never know the truth. Don't stop paying her, Alan, because we gonna find out here in a minute. Yeah. So I don't believe that just because women are they're groomed. I feel like a single mother gives their children, or try to give their children, what they feel like they need. So if I am a single mother and I have a son, and I know I don't want my son out here treating women like dog shit. I don't want my son out here being, a whore in the streets, a community, So I will do everything I can to teach my son, hey, this is not the proper way to behave yourself, even if you are a man. I don't care what society says, and don't treat women like they're objects, because they're people, they're humans with feelings. Is he going to take everything I say and take it to heart? He may or may not. But by that same token, I'm also going to teach my daughter, don't be out here in the streets, be out for the streets, because nobody wants that. Don't, if a man opens up the door for you to get in the car, reach over and open up the door for him. I was taught that. And it's a lot of women who were groomed to be wives, according to you, who don't even who don't even do that. But that was instilled, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I keep saying it's not a black and white thing. It's one of the I don't feel like you can even really groom somebody to be a husband and a wife. I feel like once you because being a husband and a wife, that is the most
listen,
difficult road ever.
It's hard for me to believe that you can groom somebody to be
a
CEO. You can groom somebody to be, an athlete. You can groom somebody to be all these other things in life, but you can't groom them and you can't raise them to be able to be a good husband and wife, regardless of if they decide to do it or not.
Where's the rest of our comments?
Then I don't think that you can say these people can't be, taught the way. And that's the thing, is I'm saying active conversations. And the thing is that if you got something, whether you're a man or a woman, to where you are, extra bitter at the baby mama or extra bitter at the baby daddy, you got to be able to understand that does not play out well for your child to be able to take on that mindset that you have where you're scorned from whoever you were messing with. So I just, from speaking to a few people and just asking this question, it just seemed like to me, in my perspective, that there is a lot of emphasis.
Well, your perspective is always skewed. But go ahead.
On men treating women a certain way, but women not getting that back. Because I'm still trying to find out, when I see this, you know what? That's another subject for another day.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Because I got a joke for you.
What's the joke?
Because it sounds like you're a little bitter. It sounds like you want to be a wife. I know you built like a lunch line lady. If you want to be a wife, then say that. That's it.
Let me tell you something. I'm a full-blooded man. Wouldn't want to change that, because there ain't nothing about us that if somebody said, "Oh, it could be a man," what would you change? Nothing. You wouldn't change anything. I mean, we could. I don't want to be no wife. That's first of all.
Well, you asexual anyway. I mean, you got the.
Do you know what asexual means?
You got the voice of a man and the titties of a woman. So, and you got childbearing hips. So, you're set. I do not have an Adam's apple. I was like, what did you creepy ass?
You got an Adam's apple like a jig head. Y'all know.
Adam's apple? What? A jig head has a.
Man, you ever seen him do? Somebody got an uncle that drank all the goddamn time. They got an Adam's apple this damn big. You like, damn, does that come from drinking malt liquor?
I need to call my Uncle Howard and see how big his.
You didn't call him out on the show like.
Yeah.
Listen,
I love my Uncle Howard.
If you do have one, you're gonna be like, you do have it. Watch.
He gonna call me Pookie. Go to hell.
So, hey, let us know what you guys think about this. You know, we always want to spark conversation amongst that. Hopefully, you keep these topics coming. And
let me tell you something. This tonight was sounds more like a phone call that we have. We, you know.
Yeah.
So if you thought it kind of got a little spike, first of all, y'all ain't the Meghan Markle conversation.
Listen,
I didn't talk to him for 2 weeks. He would call me. I'd be like, go call Meghan Markle.
Listen, I don't call Meghan Markle because
hush about stabbing your eye. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
Why won't you let me ever say anything about Meghan Markle?
No. Thank you for tuning in to the last podcast.
Y'all know one thing about. Okay, I want to have a show for next week. So listen. She will not show up.
You know I won't.
Shout out to you guys for tuning in to this. Thank you so much. Hopefully we've been able to spark some of you guys. Finish it off in the comment section. Let us know. Make sure to like, comment, and share this, okay? Shout out to Deep Ellum Distillery. We do appreciate you guys for always partnering with The Last Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Facebook. It is The Last Podcast 1. And on Instagram, it is _
The Last Podcast.
So, that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much. We will see you guys next week.
Yes, and happy birthday again to Tamara.
Yes, happy birthday.
And shout out to Bruce Bell.
Yeah, and also another shout out to my little sister, Erica. Happy birthday to you, man. Doing big things in life. So, we'll see you guys next week right here on
The Last Podcast.